Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing something kind of different, but what I want you to do is to think back to January and the intentions and the goals that you set for this year. And what we're basically going to do is a mid-year check-in to see if you are on track to reaching those goals. It doesn't necessarily have to be January, it could be a month ago, but January is just a really common month for people to set big goals and big intentions for the year. So you can really do this whenever, but I'll just be saying January just for reference. But what I basically want to ask you is, are you taking any steps to reaching those goals? Now that we're kind of in the middle of the year, are you taking any actions to reach those? Are you on track to reach them for January or a month from now, whenever you have the goal set to be reached? Or have they kind of just been left on the back burner and forgotten about, which I think is the case a lot of times, which is why I really want to do this and get in a better habit of doing this for myself. Preferably, I would be doing this quarterly at least, but I really want to get in the habit for myself of doing it after each month and kind of like seeing where that month took me, what worked really well for that month or what worked not so well for that month, just to kind of keep me on track. Because if I'm being completely honest with you guys, I'm definitely on the negative end of the spectrum here, and there have been so many years that I've just let pass by where I've been really busy and like my whole year was filled with so much stuff, but it just wasn't the stuff that I actually wanted to be working towards. It was either, you know, just me letting life happen, which a lot of life has happened in the past few years for me, or I was working towards what other people's goals were for myself. So I was doing what I think I should be doing and the right thing, the smart thing. And this just got in the way of so many of my dreams and passions and where I see myself in the upcoming years so many times. And what I want to help you guys do and to keep myself accountable with is to really focus on what is best for your life personally. So let's get right into it. This is a tool that I'm going to be using for myself personally, and I think that it's a great tool for you guys to use as well. So basically what we're going to do is get out a sheet of paper, just a blank sheet, if I'm strong enough to rip it. And what we're going to do is draw a circle and split it into thirds. So we're going to split it up like this. It's going to kind of look like a peace sign without that middle stick at the bottom. So it's just in thirds. And then what we're going to do is split this up into thirds. So each little section, you're going to then split into thirds. And each of the big thirds are going to be a different representation of your life. So the first one is going to be health. The second one is going to be kind of like a social. And then this bottom one is kind of going to be like your work section. So in this first three that we're working with, we're going to have mental health, physical health, and spiritual health. So you can also call this mind, body, and soul. And then for the social, we're going to have romance, family, and then friends. And then at the bottom, which is kind of like your work life, it's going to be mission, money, and growth. So like your own personal growth, things that you're working on, different little tools that you're doing to just grow yourself personally. For money, it's not necessarily like it's being exactly where you want to be. How we're going to score this, it's kind of like, are you on the right track? So it's not necessarily that you have $10 billion in the bank, which is what everybody I'm sure wants, but it's that you are taking steps to grow your money in the way that you want to. So whether that's like, you know, you have a goal of owning 5 rent houses, like are you setting yourself up to be able to do that? If your goal is to just save $200 a paycheck, are you doing that? What we're going to do from here, now that we have our little diagram set up, is we're going to rate each one of these sections 1 through 10. So 10 being the best, like it's your ideal life, and then 0 or 1 being like worse. It needs a lot of work. So you're going to go through each of these. So you'll do mental health, physical health, spiritual health, your romance life, your family life, your friends and like social life, your personal growth, your money, and your mission. You're going to do all that. And mission is kind of like, are you doing what you feel is best for your life? Are you making an impact in the way that you want to? Is what you're doing on a daily basis aligned with what you believe in and what you want to be doing? All right, so now I'm going to show you guys my own personal one, being very vulnerable here by showing this, but you're going to do that. I filled them in with colors because I really love that, and it just helps me, you know, be more of a visual person. But for example, mine for my mental health, 5 is what I gave it. And you're going to give yourself no judgment here. So body, I gave myself a 6. For my physical health, for mission, I gave myself a 4+. That was a little extra with the plus, but that's because I am getting closer and I'm finally taking steps towards what I feel like my purpose is. After you get them all done and set up, no judgment on yourself. This is just a representation of today, this period in time when you're doing this. We're also going to do a section for joy. So at the bottom, just write joy and do a little pie right there and do 1. So joy is just going to be kind of like, where is your joy level at on this day? Like, Is it a 4? Is it a 7? You know, despite all of this going on, how is your joy going? So what this is going to help you do is kind of zone in on what your priorities are and just give like a little screenshot of your life on this day that you do this exercise to say, okay, this is where I'm at. Now, where is it that I want to be? Which of these areas do I really want to zone in and focus on growing? So, for instance, friends may be pretty low, which for me it is, but I know that this period of busyness is not slowing down for me at all, and it's not necessarily one of my biggest priorities right now, even though I would love to see it grow at any given time, but it's not necessarily the few that are jumping out to me. So you're gonna have different ones that really call out to you and that you want to work on more so than others. And 3 months from now, maybe friends is one of the areas that you want to work on. But right now, maybe you have less time and less focus on that, and that's fine because you can always get to that later, but you want to choose a few that you really want to focus on. So the next thing that you want to ask yourself is, what do you want to be celebrating 12 months from now, or 6 months from now, or 1 month from now? But we really want to focus on one goal. So this will kind of just help you get an idea of what area you want to improve the best. And then from here, you can come up with that one thing, because we don't want to create a million goals that we're never going to be able to keep up with. Like, we don't want to do 3 goals per area, because that would just not give us a clear vision and a clear path to where we want to do. So you want to come up with what is the one thing that you would be happiest celebrating 12 months from now. And what I really like about the person that I watched this video on, who taught me this method, is that he added on while enjoying every step of the way. So that'll kind of give you a way to like stay happy throughout the process and really enjoy the process, even though it sucks not being where you want to be, but knowing that you taking steps, even if they're hard steps and even if they suck, just really kind of being able to like be grateful that you are moving in the right direction and being able to enjoy those moments versus just dreading them so much. So anyways, what I then did with the few areas that I wanted to focus on, and I don't think he necessarily went over this in his video, but it's just what I did to kind of give my little spin of things, is I took those few that I wanted to focus on and I wrote down what my goal was for those individual topics, and then I wrote down an action step that I can take, like just one small action step that I can take to really grow that area. And then I also did why. So like underneath soul, my goal is to feel closer to God and be more at peace. My action step that I can do to achieve that goal, if I'm consistent with it, like that will happen. So that's what you really want to think about when you pick your action step, is what action step can I do to ensure that that happens. So if I do this action step, which what I decided on was to journal and do a daily devotion. That includes scripture. And then for my why, I have written down, this will make me again more at peace and strengthen the most important relationship in my life. But I also know it will increase my joy and make me a better human all around. So that's kind of like my why of why do I even want this in the first place. So what I want you to do is to do that with every single area. I definitely want to start doing this at least, again, quarterly, or preferably I'll do this like once a month, or at least at the end of every month. I want to kind of like go back over the previous month and say, hey, what is working well, what is not. I know, I almost had you guys thinking that that was the end of the video, and myself, but it's not, because I overthought about it, surprise, surprise, and I was like, oh my goodness, what if nobody wrote down goals at the beginning of the year? 1, and 2, what if at this point they no longer like have those written down goals, or they've kind of just been so busy like I have doing those things that aren't aligned with my goals and kind of like just forgotten about them. So what I did and what I want to inspire you guys to do is to get really ultra clear on what those specific goals are that you want, because if you don't have clarity and know exactly what they are, then you're never going to be able to hit them. It's just going to be this vague thing that you're like, oh my goodness, I never hit my goals. I'm no closer to where I want to be. But like, if you don't make it as clear as possible and put it in front of your face as much as possible, then I promise you're just going to let every single day go by and you're just going to get further away from it. So what I did was I wrote down the different areas that I wanted to focus on, and I put very specific goals in each of these categories. I still have like my one main focus goal that like, this is where I want to put all my attention in, and this is what I would be happiest celebrating 6 months from now. But I do have other goals that I want to work on along the way. So I did physical, personal growth, spiritual, professional / money, and romance. Okay, so underneath physical, I have increased flexibility, but that's pretty vague. So like, I want to get that a little bit more specific. So I put splits, back bends, and hips. And as you guys will soon know, because I believe it's one of my upcoming videos, I am working on right now a splits journey, and I'm gonna see how far I can get in 1 month with my splits. So I am working consistently on that right now. And then, you know, after a little bit, I definitely want to work on my back bends as well. But I also have 10K steps a day. I have do a real bulk this winter. This one's a little bit scary because I've never done a real one, and I've never like tracked my foods and really pushed hard in a long time. So I'm very excited about this one, but also nervous, and it's going to take a lot of growth and just pushing myself outside my comfort zone. but I definitely want to do it because I've been feeling like my butt is so small. Anyways, I also have personal growth as a category on here, and underneath this one I have read a book a month. Guys, this has been a goal of mine year after year, and I just never make it happen. So, including this year up until this point. So also in this month, I've really been doing so much better about that. I've been keeping my book beside my bed at night. That way it's just really easy and convenient. One thing about goals that I've learned is that you want to decrease the resistance for things that you want to happen and increase resistance for things that you don't want to happen. So I want to make it as convenient as possible for me to read a book. So I need it to be just somewhere where I'm going to see it, a convenient time, which is right before bed, and it also like helps me fall asleep better. So that's just a good time for me to do it. It's right there if I want to read first thing in the morning. So yeah, I'm just like decreasing the resistance towards reading. I'm not even going to get into the increasing resistance for things that you don't want to happen because that's a video for another day. But the gist is that you want to make it as easy as possible to do the things that you want to do and as hard as possible for the things that you don't want to happen as often. Yeah, so anyways, back to personal growth. I need to put my goals in front of my face every day and stay focused. I'm gonna do that by, I made this sheet and I actually may end up making a prettier one, but I have a board that I'm gonna put up today and I'm gonna make sure that I look at this thing every single day. So I'm gonna have it in front of my face and make sure it's somewhere that I have to see it. And lastly, underneath personal growth, I have post a YouTube video a week. So I'm in a brand new channel. I put this underneath personal growth because there's just so much to learn and it's so overwhelming. That's been my goal from the start, and I've definitely, it's been a very busy couple months, but I've definitely let this kind of go, and I want this to be my biggest priority. So back to picking what I would like to be celebrating the most, it is definitely all related to my YouTube goals. So then the next category is spiritual, and underneath this one I have be consistent with devotion 5 times a week, journal 5 times a week, and practice daily gratitude. Also included with gratitude is kind of being in like a state of constant prayer and just, you know, not leaving prayers to only right before I'm going to sleep or before meals, just kind of knowing that I can always pray no matter what time of day, no matter what I'm doing, just kind of be in a constant talk with God. So next I have my professional and money goals. So recently I left my very high demand, energy extensive nursing job, and I want to find one that is more aligned with what I want and something that I would enjoy more. I am still working PRN at my old facility, but I definitely want to very soon, and actually I'm starting this week on finding a new job that's going to be more stable. So the next one on this list is 1,000 YouTube subscribers. And then I put I would pee my pants because I actually would. So I don't know if this is even an attainable goal by January. I think, you know, I don't know, is this like a year-long goal? I'm not sure because I'm brand new to this space, but I would literally pee my pants and I cannot wait for it to happen. So I put it down and I'm gonna stretch for it either way. But number 3 is to get a car, and number 4 is to get approved as an Amazon influencer. So I don't know anything about the Amazon influencer program yet, and I haven't tried to do that. So it's on my list and I may could do it now, but I may have to, you know, gain a little bit more of a following before that happens. I'm not sure, but either way, it is on the list for my professional and money growth. And then my last category is romance, and underneath this one, I have dates once weekly, and I put it like that because couples, I know, especially if you live together, it's very easy. Like you do spend a lot of time together, and a lot of that is like eating meals and whatever. But I want this to be more of like a special time between just us and us to really, you know, set aside time to focus on each other versus just like getting through the busyness of the week. And then lastly, underneath that one, I have to slow down and really enjoy the busy process together, because I know one day we're gonna look back on all these super stressful times just because he and I are both people that are just like, get as much done as possible, as quick as possible. And that's kind of how it's been for our entire relationship. That's almost 3 years now. So I really want us to like do better about fun and happiness along the way, and so many good things are coming, and we've already come so far, but just to enjoy the process more and know that one day we're gonna look back on these memories and be like, wow, that was awesome, I can't believe we did all that, and just be very proud of ourselves. So, and that'll be a way that we can like increase our joy along the way too. So those are my 2024 goals, and I'm gonna do so much better about keeping myself accountable with these, and this is something that I'll use for my end of the month check-ins to see, okay, what's going well, what's not going well, and kind of see where I'm at. Like, am I on track to hitting these by January or next year or whatever? And yeah, I encourage you guys to do the same. Anyways, I hope that was helpful for you guys. I hope that I really explained it well enough for you to be able to do this on your own at home. But yeah, if you're really brave, you can shoot me a message with your goals that you have for yourself personally, and maybe in a month or 2, I will check back in and see how they're doing. Or you can even comment them on this video if you're really, really, really super brave, and we can just all kind of do this together. But I hope that this helped you guys as much as it helps me. I plan to do way better about keeping myself accountable for what I want to work towards, because I'm just so sick and tired, I don't know if anyone else can relate, of just wasting my time working towards things that I don't even necessarily want. So I'm getting myself no closer to where I want to be by doing that, even if it looks fantastic and great and wonderful to everyone else. But if it doesn't like resonate with me and feel really good to myself, then I mean, what's even the point? So I'm really happy. Just to give a little assessment of my last month, it was really the first time ever in my life that I've actually, well, maybe not the first time ever, but the first time in a really long time in my adult life that I've actually taken a step towards working towards what I want to work on. And yeah, lots of big changes recently for me. I'm still figuring everything out, which there's so much to figure out and so much to learn, but that is so exciting to me. So I'm super looking forward to it and continuing to do it, and just like happy and proud of myself for taking those steps. So the next thing is to just really hold myself accountable on a day-to-day basis to get to where I want to be. And I hope the same for you, whether that is with your physical health, whether with your social, or maybe your mission or your romantic life, that we can work on these things together and just work towards what we want. So anyways, I am going to end this video now. This is the official ending. I'm not going to pull your guys' leg again, but I really appreciate you guys' time, and I can't wait to continue to learn and grow with you guys. I hope this was helpful. I hope that you actually put these things into action for yourself, and I hope that this was inspiring for you. We will maybe do a month check-in at the end of this month to see how we're doing. And again, please send me your goals. I would love to help keep you accountable and just send you some motivation and inspiration now and again. So love you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment if you want. Just do all the things.